well, that's right. That's what I said. I said when you will change your spots. Kiss
And to think that you are not alone. There is no greater love in all the world, it's true. No greater love than what I feel for you. Nobody's fool, but I'm playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, 'cause I ain't for no boy catching me. Switch your your telephone number. Well, you know, doing my rumble with who knows, and that's my second dog. And that's my second dog. And that's my second dog.
My name is Mick Burgess. I'll be the Master of Ceremonies for the afternoon. And our hostesses, Louise and Anne, are here somewhere, but if you get the opportunity this afternoon, please thank them for their generous hospitality and the use of this beautiful house as a venue for the afternoon. Before we kick off, I'd like to make a couple of quick housekeeping announcements. Firstly, the toilets. There are two portable toilets out the front of the house. Please let myself or Anne know if there are any issues with these facilities, and we'll sort them out. They're unisex. There's no males and females, so please use those. The pool gate at the back there is locked. Sorry, it's not locked, but we ask that you don't enter the area unless Annabelle or a responsible adult is there. Please no running, children no diving, and preferably no riding on the flamingo. It has a tendency to buck you off. So. All the food preparation will be taking place towards the back of the house, and we ask that you speak with Louise or Anne before going inside. Smokers, please go to the front of the house behind the toilet blocks, similar to if you were back to school. There are ashtrays available there. Phinit and Pat are very keen to have this occasion to be as inclusive as possible. If you'd like to say a few brief words during the speeches, then please speak with Dave Townsend during the half time break, and he'll introduce you when we get to that part. Now hand over to kick the ceremony off. All set? also be a bilingual service from myself. So, Zawati Tuk let Pun, let Prokrua Dutchapop, Pun Kong Phinit, Pomchu Big Burgess, let Wani, Pomben Pitigon, Yindi Donratsu, Pitigan, Dengan, Kong Phinit. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mick Burgess. I am your Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. I'd like to welcome you all to the wedding celebration of Phinit and Pat. Pom ko rian chern, kunsu let kunwis, kunma bonweti, pusadang kwam kaurop, do Chow Tongtin Kong Australia, Aboriginal let Torres Strait Islander, let Kokun Tikaurop, Paikau Mi Oga Daima, Rumkan Wuni. And that bit says, I now call on Sue and Louise for an acknowledgement of country. For our Thai friends and family in Australia, this is an opportunity to show respect to the traditional owners and to acknowledge the continuing connection of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples with the land upon which we are meeting today.
Hello everybody, my name's Sue Pinkham. I'm a Biripi woman from the north coast of New South Wales. I'm exceptionally happy to see all you mobs sitting out there. Sorry that it's a bit sunny and hot, but I'm sure that you're going to enjoy the rest of the day. I'd like to acknowledge that we're here today celebrating this amazing journey for these two wonderful men on Gadigal country. I'd like to pay my respects to our elders past, present and emerging, to the spirits of the land, the water and the sea, the land, water and air, and to everybody here today, I hope that you enjoy yourself. For you two amazing men, I hope that our ancestors help guide you on this wonderful journey that you're starting and enjoy being on Aboriginal country.
My name's Louise Bell. I'm a Gamilaroi Ngunnawal woman. I actually come from Yass. To all you country mob out there, you know, yeah, Yass, yeah? Yes! And these are a traditional musical instrument, and they're called a clapstick. And these are our gift to Pat and Phinit for their to share and an ongoing journey together. Thank you.
Nawelani Pomchern Kun Stephen Ma Prekor Pititangan. I'd now like to introduce our celebrant for the afternoon, Stephen Bishop.
My name is Stephen Bishop and I'm legally registered to solemnise marriages according to the law. The couple has asked me to keep this very short and sweet so we can get on with the party, which is the real reason we're all here. So can everybody please make sure they've got a glass in their hand and their cameras and phones out to take as many photos as possible. Today is a very special day for Pat and Phinit, not just because they come together in front of their family and friends to celebrate their love and share that with you, but also because it's finally legal for everybody to get married in this country. To that extent, Pat and Phinit have asked a very special friend of theirs, Michael, to come and say a few words about the significance of this event and the journey to here so far. So, Michael.
Hey. very special friend. I didn't know that. I wanted to be ring bearer, but they said no. So I got this gig instead. I'm going to read this because I've actually got a terrible track record of recent days at speech making at weddings. I get about 2/3 of the way through and I start to cry and it all becomes terrible. So I'm going to do my best with this one. I'm feeling tough today, so here we go. Glasses. Well, joy comes in the morning, the scripture says. And Pat and Phinit are aware that for many of us, today is a first of its kind. The first same-sex marriage many of us would have attended. Our first opportunity to celebrate since that great day last November, when our countrymen and women declared that, other differences aside, there would be no second-class citizens in this Commonwealth, that the Southern Cross would shine down on all of us equally. Nothing less was at stake last November, nothing less than our status and standing as gay men and women in the eyes of our fellow Australians. We begin our gatherings these days quite properly, as we have done today, by acknowledging the Indigenous custodians of the land on which we gather. And as white men living in a black man's land, that's entirely proper. And I recognise today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation on whose land we gather. We pay our respects, of course, to the elders past and present, and recognise their ongoing custody and care of this place. Pat and Phinit would also have us acknowledge our LGBTI elders, who in a very particular and powerful way have made this day possible for them and for all LGBTI men and women. When Patrick was growing up, youngster in a country town, and Phinit was doing something similar much later in the wilds of Bangkok. I've got a few more tucked away. And I was growing up just down the road at Mascot and off to Waverley. None of us could have imagined this day. Two men free to betroth themselves one to the other. How far we've come in our lifetime, how far we've come. It's a great day in the morning. Like many gay and lesbian couples who've married since last November, at this moment in time, Pat and Phinit stand at a crossroads, at a point in our national story where two great journeys intersect. The private and the public, the personal and the political. This is otherwise an everyday, ordinary event. Two people committing themselves to each other in marriage. Doubtless it's taken place across this great city on its wonderful weekend hundreds of times. But in Pat and Phinit's case, this ordinary everyday day lends weight and proof to the faith of Martin Luther King, whose memory we celebrated 1 week ago, who declared some 50 years ago that the arc of history does indeed bend towards liberty. Well, Pat and Phinit are free today. Free to make the same statement of love and commitment to each other that their parents made, that all of our straight brothers and sisters have always been able to make. And that's a great day in the morning. So as gay men and women and the community that supports us, we acknowledge the long years of struggle that brings us to this day. We remember the marches, the beatings, the bashings, the arguments, the campaigning, the wilderness years of the AIDS epidemic, and we remember those who soldiered on and delivered us to this point, to this beautiful afternoon in the sunshine in the suburb of Kensington. And to those people, we say thank you. To those gay men and women who publicly campaigned and who were subjected to the ridicule, criticism, and at times the violence of the reactionaries, we say thank you. To those who influence the opinion of those around them simply by living ordinary, respectable lives, led ordinary, respectable careers, but did so openly as gay men and women, we say thank you. To those who came out to their families, in their workplaces, in their communities, before it was safe to do so, we say thank you. To those wonderful straight friends and allies who stood with us, who defended us, who argued for us, who claimed us as their brothers and sisters and uncles and nephews and sons and daughters, cousins, neighbours and workmates, and to our union allies who always stood with us and from whom all good things come, we say thank you. To those sexy, hip and happening mums and dads who are proudly raising gay sons and daughters, and to those who might not quite know it yet, Pat and Phinit hope that this day gives you hope and confidence that joy does indeed come in the morning. Doubtless, others later today will, when it comes time for toast, make comment on Pat and Phinit and their relationship and make jokes at their expense. Well, I'm not that type of guy. But I would like to end my comments with a brief editorial. Phinit, thank you for your dogged, determined, deliberate pursuit of our Pat. God knows what his life would be if you hadn't come along. It's been wonderful to watch this rollicking rom-com as you pursued him across the cities of Asia. Anyone who's closely followed this, from the front bar at the Royal at Randwick perhaps, came to the same conclusion. Pat had to marry Phinit or have him arrested for stalking. There was no third option. Has anyone here had the pleasure of visiting their little hideaway in Bangkok? I have. A couple might have. It's a shrine to all things Pat Devery. There's not a mantelpiece, a space on the wall that does not have a photo of Pat. There's a few others shown in just to throw, the casual observer off, but, for those dedicated observers, Pat and I have called it the shrine. The shrine. There's a little token of it as you walked in, but that's nothing to what happened in Bangkok. Which is lovely. I was a little bit uncomfortable, Phinit, with those long-distance telephoto shots you've got. The ones of Pat getting into the bus, the ones of Pat getting across the road, through the gauze. So I think they're a little bit the kind of shots that when the police raid the house, in following the serial killer, they see all these photographs on the wall. That's those ones. Pat knows I'm not lying. A shrine to this boy from Cowra. I remember saying to Pat some months back, and meaning this quite sincerely, in one of my more reflective moments, mate, this guy loves you. And Pat, in middle age, against all the odds, love found you. You have that last call of the night now. That's someone who looks for you first when they enter a crowded room. And whatever comes down the track for Pat, he'll always be able to say in his dotage, you were adored once too. Patrick, all teasing aside, this is a great love. It's been a privilege to watch both of them give themselves to it. Your friends and your family are glad you did. Our lives have always been blessed, those who've known Pat, to have him in it. And that blessing is infinitely richer now to have Phinit in it too. So, let's say an amen and a so be it to that and get these guys hitched.
Thanks, Michael, for those lovely words, and it's certainly been a journey for many people here today. We're going to get down to the legal bit, which the Governor or Attorney General makes me have to say. So, Pat and Phinit, before you were joined in marriage in my presence and in the presence of these witnesses, your friends and family, I must remind you of the solemn and binding nature of the relationship you're entering into. Marriage, according to the law in Australia, is the union of two people to the exclusion of all others voluntarily entered into for life. Step forward and hold me. Pat, do you take Phinit to be your lawfully wedded partner? Will you love him, comfort him, honour and respect him? Do you promise to share all life has to offer, your hopes and your dreams, your achievements and disappointments with him from this day forward? Good answer. Phinit, do you take Pat to be your lawfully wedded partner? Will you love him, comfort him, honour and respect him? Do you promise to share all life has to offer, your hopes and your dreams, your achievements and disappointments with him from this day forward? Bit of a pause there. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to do the vows, and Pat and Phinit have written their own for each other.
I haven't heard this yet. Thank you for standing with me here as we build the ultimate team for life. Today I, Phinit Phakpapai, join my life to yours not just as your husband, but as your friend, lover and partner in crime. You have made me the happiest person in the world since the moment you came into my life. You are kind, funny, and you have been a sort of love and joy to me. Whenever I am with you, I always feel loved, safe, accepted, and appreciated. Today, in front of our loving family and friends, and with the ring that I'm going to be giving to you later on, I promise to be faithful and loyal to you throughout the changes of our lives. I vow to take care of you, bring you happiness, and offer my support and devotion through our challenges and endeavors. I promise to cherish you, listen to you with compassion, and talk to you with encouragement, and I look forward to growing old with you in mind and spirit. I call upon people present to witness that I, Phinit Phakpapai, take you, Patrick Devery, to be my lawful wedded partner from this time onward. I love you, Patrick Devery, with all my heart, and I am forever grateful to have you in my life. And from this day forward, I will be proud to be your husband, and I cannot wait to start the new and exciting chapter with the person I love most in the world.
So he said he couldn't write. I spent like weeks distilling my thoughts into one or two lines, and then I was given strict instructions to expand those a little bit. So I call upon the people here present to witness that I, Patrick Devery, take you, Phinit Phakpapai, to be my lawful wedded partner from this time onward. I promise to stand by you and support your ideas, your creativity, your passions and your dreams. I'd like to publicly acknowledge the love and confidence and the great sense of fun that you've brought into my life. I thank you for the amazing Thai and Irish communities into which I've been welcomed as your partner, and I thank you for the warmness with which you have embraced my family and friends also. I look forward to enjoying your incredible companionship across the years. I commit to respecting your intelligence, your creativity, your wonderful and sometimes quirky sense of humour, and even your singing. Although his lip syncing is much better. I look forward to living with you, laughing with you, and loving you, and I promise to care about you and for you for the rest of our journey together on this planet. Thank you.
Could we have the rings, please? Pat, can you take the ring and place it up on Phinit's left hand and repeat after me? Repeat after me. With this ring I marry you.
With this ring I marry you.
And offer a symbol of my everlasting love.
Brandy. Where's Brandy?
and Phinit. Please repeat after me. With this ring, I marry you and offer a symbol of my everlasting love. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat and Phinit have stood before you today and declared their love. They've taken vows and exchanged rings. It is with great pleasure that I declare Pat and Phinit to be married. You may kiss your husband. To conclude the ceremony, we're going to sign some legal documentation, and during that time, could everybody please recharge their glasses and get ready for a toast? Thank you.
With your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft.
Emily and I, Drew's the best one. Oh,
Racing partner.
With a smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing holding me too
So there was a ring bearer. You bastards. Yeah, there he is.
Just while we've got each other here.
For those who don't know me, my name is Phinit from Bangkok, Thailand. We come over the sea with my boss, Lina. She stay over there. Apparently, I'm one of the best men today. So, I don't mind to telling you how nervous I am. But but because of you guys, because of your smiles, and because of wine, so I'm feeling better. Speak of the love. Many people may think love is a mystery. Love is a top secret of the universe. Or love is a secret that no one knows. But when I know Phinit, where's him? Okay. I know him like 5 years at the workplace, and I recognize that love is simple, love is natural. Phinit and Pat show us how to love and be loved in return. Is right? It's no matter what, how distant you are, how color, what you're man or woman, how tall or short, or anything else. I would say just be yourself and to take care of each other. That's enough. And I would like to say that today they got the best wishes from all of us here to their future of couple life. And I got some special message from his brother and sister in Thailand. So I will speak on behalf of them. First, a wish from Pop, his brother. He said, "Your wedding day may come and go, but may your love forever grow. I wish every day of Phinit and Pat be as special and memorable as today นะครับ." That's him. And another special message from his sister Noi on behalf of his family. She said, "Marriage is beginning of couple of life. We wish Phinit and Pat all the best with happiness, fulfilled with love, understanding, and taking care of each other. At last but not least, we always here, always beside Phinit and Pat forever and ever." So I propose a toast to the groom and the group. And Patrick.
Thank you. เราขอแนะนำคุณเดฟครับ Dave, that's the best man.
Thanks, Vic. What a fantastic bunch of people you look today. You're all very resplendent, and I think they passed the test, don't they, Phinit? They've come neat casual, summer casual, whatever it is. Sunday best. And what an eclectic group of people you are, which doesn't surprise me with Pat's many varied interests. But a speech by Mick Elphick, and from Grit, in not his native tongue, obviously. Fantastic. Hands together, please. And Nick Burgess, what a great job. He didn't know Thai yesterday. He started... Anyway, it's my great honour to have been asked by Pat to be his best man today. Or it would have been had he actually asked me. See, Pat, I asked him about 15 years ago to be my best man at my wedding. And at the time I was pretty confident when I offered to do the favour in return that I wouldn't be called to take upon this duty. But the years passed in a roundabout fashion. This country actually remembered that it stood in favour of human rights And I made the offer again. Now I did this selflessly, just so that there would be no fighting between the brothers and sister about who might be the best man, offending the others. When Pat delivered his best man speech at my wedding, it was a command performance. I want to assure you here today that I'll make no attempt to match that bar. And there'll be no references whatsoever to the great Athenian statesman Pericles. When I asked Pat how many people are likely to come to this wedding, he said about 40. And then he started counting his family members. And been revising that number up northwards ever since. Now, just so we can figure out who's who here, can you put up your hand or sing out if you are related to Pat Devery? Phinit, put your hand up. You're part of that mob now. To our special guests from Thailand, thanks so much for coming here. You're now part of with your Australian family. Yay. Pat Devery is an intensely loyal friend, as I'm sure you would all attest. Over the years, he's collected so many friends from all over the place, from all of the centres of the worlds that he inhabits, and he speaks often about those people who are dear to him, usually in a manner as if I know them too. And maybe I do, I just don't know, because rarely does he refer to them with their proper names. Nicknames, monikers, aliases, the Brigadier here. Who else? There's a Thumb out there somewhere. The Flyer, Mrs. Thumb. All sorts of names. I've noticed a few actually, their first part of their name starts with the Great Someone, so we might be related. And even his newly minted husband, the Rainbow Warrior. Now again, just so we can get an idea of how everyone fits in today, there's likely to be some crossover, I know, but can you just put your hand up if you got to know Greg as Pat, through St. Gregory's. Through St. Gregory's. Who's the St. Greg's crowd here? All right, there's quite a few of you. Who was teaching with Dev? And who come to know him through music and the band? Yeah, there is a bit of crossover and there's a lot of people. And how is the music today? Fantastic. And then there's a few of you here that know Dev through his advocacy for the rights of working men and women, through his work in the union and other subversive movements. And if I left anyone out, just sing out anyway. Gamblers. Gamblers. Oh, the Guff Punters Club, yeah. The track, the horses, of course. Yeah.
What about the Russell Crowe Cup?
All right, now to the business at hand about Phinit and Pat. One weekend in June 2014, when Dev was gallivanting around the world yet again, he met a fellow called Phinit in, of all places, a bar. I still remember Dev telling me that following that fateful meeting, a week or so later, he had to catch a plane somewhere else, and Phinit saw him off at the airport, and he had this feeling that amounted to what felt like a physical pain in his very being as he said goodbye to this man. He mentioned to me that he felt like crying at the time. I took that to mean that he did in fact cry at the time. I said to him, mate, it's simple. You've fallen in love. I don't think Dev ever believed that he would fall, and he would fall so hard. But of course, why not? Pat Devery's a lovable fellow with a big heart. And so it came to pass, as the prophets Tim and Bjorn had foretold. One night in Bangkok did make the proud man humble. I later discovered that Pat had actually said to Phinit before he left Bangkok, I may be falling in love with you. Phinit replied, wait for this, I have strong feelings for you too. Well played, Phinit. Thankfully, Phinit and Pat stayed in touch. They overcame the obstacles of long-distance relationship while clocking up some serious frequent flyer points. We met Phinit sometimes afterwards at, of all places, a bar. It was easy to see straight away why Deb was flying back to Thailand every other week. It should come as no surprise to anyone that our Pat fell for a top bloke. Pat made it clear that he'd met a fellow who was smart, handsome, creative, talented, kind and thoughtful. Dev showed me, and I presume some of you, videos Phinit had made of their holidays together with full-on soundtracks and special effects. The production values rivalled those of a top network. It was like watching The Bachelor in Paradise. I imagine, I don't know. Well, gents, bachelors no more. Phinit has a keen sense of adventure. Thank you, Kookaburras. Keen sense of adventure and spontaneity. It's been quite a treat watching Phinit drag Pat out at the Royal Exhibition, to take him on treks to see the figure 8 pool in the Royal National Park, for example, or sandboarding up Newcastle Bay. Keeping you young, Pat. He also possesses other qualities. Sorry, the age gap hasn't been mentioned. Not that great, I'm sure. He also possesses...
Only our mothers can tell us apart.
Phinit also possesses other qualities that are critical to sustain a relationship with Patrick. That is a sense of humour and a liberal store of patience. Some weeks ago, over a couple of glasses of Irish whiskey, Pat's got Phinit, who was just finishing up work. Pat and I made an absolute hilarious joke, followed by another one, and Phinit absolutely smiled out of courtesy. After a while, Phinit said he was off to the gym. Pat made another zinger about being off to pour another drink and asked Phinit if he was heading off to the gym to look good for the wedding. At least one of us have to, said Phinit. I do think they both look good today, apart from the same shame, and they were wearing the same shirts last night as well. Before we move to the toast, another toast, I would read out a number of telegrams, or messages rather, that have been sent by people who could not be here today. First of all, I'll just call Pat's best sister to come and read a message from Cowra. Trish?
I'm not Margaret Devery from Cowra. This is a poem that my mum wrote that she asked me to read. It's called P&P. He's been around since 65, now that's a year or two, and he's fondly known as Pat to folks like me and you. He's been a part of us so long that, as we all know well, there's many a Patrick story that all of us could tell. Of broken arms and schoolroom pranks and uni tales galore. But perhaps 'tis rather prudent not to open up that door. Then upon the scene came Phinit, whom all of us hold dear. And we watched them grow together over a number of years. They always make the time to be with us and share their many gifts and talents and spread their loving care. They love to cook together and create such delicious feasts. And Phinit's fluffy omelettes are the best you'll ever eat. Whenever Paddy asks his trumpet skills to share, he does so very willingly and with a certain flair. When Annabelle in Thailand became panicked and distressed, Phinit calmly rescued her and straightened out the mess. That they complement each other is there for all to see, and now when we refer to them we call them P&P. So today we wish them well as they venture on life's way, and we hope the sun will shine on them each and every day. Stay close beside each other when the going is a little rough, and help smooth out the bumps when the road is sometimes rough. And as we've said so many times, and yet it still holds true, may the winds be soft, may the skies be blue, and the road ahead hold many blessings for the both of you. Love from Mum and Dad.
I'm Mark McKinnon, and I'm not here representing myself rather than my brother John, who's overseas at the moment. And he sent me an email through the week and asked me if I wouldn't mind reading out this. Those of you who know John would know that even if he was here, he'd be up here saying this anyway, so we'll see how we go. So greetings one and all, but in particular greetings to Phinit and Pat. I'm sorry that I'm not able to be here to join you and your family and your friends in what I imagine and hope is a great and fitting celebration. As it happens, I'm in San Francisco, which, on this day of a same-sex marriage, seems strangely opposite, as one guidebook proclaims San Francisco as America's pinkest city. However, as I sit down to write out a few thoughts, I find my mind turning not to the assertion contained in the same guidebook that if you're here and queer, welcome home, but rather to the life of the man after whom the city is named, St. Francis of Assisi. And so I thought I'd simply share with you some of my reflections. Legend has it that at one point early after his conversion, St. Francis stood naked in the town square. To stand naked in public is to present oneself in clear and certain terms. In doing so, a person is allowing him or herself to be seen just as they are, with nothing to hide behind. I think that deciding to get married is a bit like that. It sends a message in clear and certain terms that this is who I am, we are, with all of my or our strengths and gifts, with all of my and our vulnerabilities, and this is where I and we stand. I think that a same-sex marriage sends such a message with particular strength. Another story has St. Francis kissing a leper. We don't have to look too far, either back in history or in these times or across cultures, to find homosexual men and women being treated as lepers were, and in some cases still are. By becoming a married couple, it seems to me that Phinit and Pat are saying that treating some groups within the population as somehow other than us is not good enough. And here, I think such a declaration has a message for the whole population, but in particular for groups and individuals who find themselves marginalised and forced to live apart from the mainstream of society. Yet another story from the life of St. Francis was his taking on board a message to rebuild the church. I think that if we think of the church in 13th century Italy as the institution and a group of people who were the principal force in informing and determining the values of the dominant culture, we can draw an analogy. I cannot speak of the situation in Thailand, but recently in Australia we saw a significant number of people and powerful groups make evident their resistance to change, to keep the dominant culture operating as it had been operating. A same-sex marriage challenges these forces. But leaving the same-sex aspect of this marriage aside, I'd suggest that by being married, Phinit and Pat are fundamentally rebuilding or challenging the values of a dominant culture, which suggests that nothing is permanent, that is highly individualistic, that places more value on the acquisition of things and of prestige than on the quality of relationships and the nurturing of what is to be truly human. To me, they are saying that they value and claim and own the essential human desire to be loved and to give love. In doing this in public way that a marriage necessarily entails, I'm reminded of a saying also attributed to St. Francis, that is, in all things preach the gospel, but if necessary, use words. Perhaps a less well-known idea of St. Francis was his seeing the need to take the message of the Gospels from behind the walls of the monasteries and out to the world beyond. Again, to me, a marriage does that. It is a public declaration and celebration, understood to be important enough to be endorsed with all the authority and gravitas of the state. In particular, I think same-sex marriage takes from behind the walls and into the public square, especially to those who do it tough, a message which echoes St. Francis' famous prayer. It is a message of peace, of love. Where there is hatred, of hope instead of despair, of light overcoming darkness, of joy in place of sadness, of understanding and of forgiveness and of love. So to conclude, St Francis is well known for having a deep sense of connection with all of creation, calling physical elements of the universe and its creatures brother and sister. Phinit and Pat, I think a marriage, while rooted in the now, also lives beyond the now, and I have a sense of all things, of all our brothers and sisters joining you today, to affirm your relationship and human relationships in general, to congratulate you and celebrate with you and to give you thanks. Best wishes always, Cousin John.
Just to get through a couple more telegrams. There's no such thing anymore, I know. To my good friends Pat and Phinit on your wedding day. And this one's edited because it was just far too sycophantic, really. It was just saying too many nice things about Patrick. And actually, it's because of the next sentence. As the great Athenian statesman Pericles once said, what you leave behind is not what is engraved in the stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. Pat and Phinit, I am sure that in your wonderful life together, you will weave many more great moments into the lives of those around you, and I hope to have the privilege of being one of those lucky folk. James Walsh, Beijing. This one's edited because I've got to go to work tomorrow, and also the full text is going to you, so I'm sending it tomorrow. And I know Pat's desperate to get on and do his waltz. Dear Pat and Phinit, what a lot of people may not know is that the wedding today is only occurring due to the Indian government and my great travel advice. Success has many fathers. Dubai, June 2014. I recall vividly dropping you off to the airport as you were very excitedly making your way to India. 40 minutes later, I received your phone call to come back and collect you. Flights and hotels had been booked, but you had neglected to apply for a visa. As we sat drinking a G&T, trying to recoup airfares and hotel bookings, you asked me, what am I going to do now? My advice was to go to Thailand. We booked the ticket and hotel, and I gave you a list of instructions saying something good is going to happen to you, and of course it did. How wonderful that almost 4 years later, you and Phinit are able to express your love and commitment to each other by being married. I wish you both all the love, health and happiness that is possible for the future. Love always, Wayne, Dubai. Kiss, kiss. Most of you will know that Phinit spent 10 years or more or thereabouts in Ireland and describes his nationality as Tyrish, which is rather endearing. I got an email from Thailand. It's in Gaelic. I'm just wondering if there's any Thai people out there that might be able to... Sorry, Irish people, Irish even, that might be able... Jack? Oh, straight from Ireland, thank you, Jack. Oh, no.
Enough for Kale is missing to Gra. I got Gra, Bert, Duran, and a Gra, the Sirmanis, a Idir, Beard, Sherde. Kamanash, Agus, and Amasha. It's Mayan, Leon, Pesad, Sona Agus Fada. And for here, Chile, Ayon, Istione, and Yontiak. I Phinit, Augusta, and Atas, Otsa, Afud, and the Manha. Adas and Galt, Agusfit, Ehaghad, Ansi Oral. His Bronaran, Nak, Fida, Lina Shillard, Ak, his bra, Lynn, Othir, Na, Ahir, Aaron, Gra, O'Jerry, Mariah, Jason, Aaron, Agus, Amanda. For those of you who don't speak Gaelic. I suspect that those who do speak Gaelic wouldn't have been any more enlightened. The words "I am your love" have a special meaning in the hearts of two people. It's a ceremony between two friends, companions, and lovers. I wish you both a happy and long marriage. Phinit is a great person, and may you two have all the happiness in the world. It's a union of two hearts, two lives, two souls, which are fastened and woven for eternity. We're sorry that we cannot celebrate with you. However, we send our love all the way from the country of Ireland. Love from Jerry, Maria, Jason, Aaron and Amanda.
Patrick, you were an inspiration to me. I wish Phinit all the best. Peter Baz. Sorry. It says you were an irritation to me. I don't know how that would be. The bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them, glory and danger alike, and yet, notwithstanding, go out to meet it. Love from Pericles, that great bloody Athenian statesman. Dear Pat and Phinit, congratulations on your wedding. We would have loved to be there to celebrate the wedding of the year. Thinking of you both and hoping that you have a fantastic day. We'll raise a beer over here in your honour. Look forward to catching up in Sydney and Bangkok to celebrate. Lots of love and best wishes, Ben and Maria. Dubai. Dear comrades Pat and Phinit, we are sorry that we are unable to escape Trumpville to join you at your wedding. It is all crooked Hillary's fault. If we'd been able to come, it would have been the biggest and best wedding ever, believe me. However, we are comforted in the knowledge that despite our absence, it will still be a bigly affair. We wish you all the best and can't wait to see the pictures and hear Cousin Trish sing a love song dedication. Comrades Ross, Hetty, Scout, Dash and Huck, Brooklyn, New York. Anne, would you like to come up and say a few words? Cousin Anne.
I just couldn't resist, and Pat did ask, was I going to say a few words? Well, yes, what a day. A day as, yes, so magnificently said that we've longed for and so many people have struggled for, but also a day that Pat and Phinit have been waiting for. I wanted to just say how much Pat has been a part of so many of our lives, and while I'm speaking from my own Donaldson family, part of the subgroup of the McKinnon clan and McGrath family group, I'm sure it represents most of you here. So he's entertained us with his wicked, irreverent and irresistible sense of humour. It's been so good for our children to grow up with someone coming into the house with such a sense of humour about all things. His gift of hospitality, I think many of us have probably bunked down in his house. He's cooked for us and has a great gift of welcoming people into his life and into the life of his family and friends. His steadfast comrade in the pursuit of social justice, and not just in his words, but in his actions and his current choice of job, and that's been a great source of inspiration and pride over many, many years. He's an engaging and stimulating conversationalist. He's a gifted, if not unorthodox teacher, and I would have given anything to be a fly on the wall and watch many of his classes. And I also have gained a lot in his inspiration for his advocacy for teaching as the most brilliant profession, and one that he was proud to be part of and is still promoting. He's a faithful son, brother, uncle, nephew, cousin and general member of the McGrath and Devery clan. And Trish, that poem from Auntie Margaret was just absolutely brilliant, and I think brought tears to many of our eyes. I thought I might have been speaking on behalf at one stage of the whole clan, and I'm so glad that my elder Auntie Margaret has spoken to us. And someone else mentioned he's a loyal friend bar none. He's thoughtful and considerate and unbelievably accepting of all of us, just who we are and how we're living our lives and what we're doing. And music. He brought the trumpet into our house. I was slightly dubious at first. But that was changed when Pat used to visit and actually practice and play the trumpet. And I was not exposed to the trumpet as an instrument, and it is the most glorious. I now have loads of CDs and listen to it trumpet music so much. And of course our son Jeremy, he introduced Jeremy to the trumpet as well. I think I was going to talk all about the trumpet at one point because I think its qualities just totally sum up Pat. Its earthiness and brashness, but its nobility and its absolute clarity and purity at times of just things that are good and beautiful and just exactly what we need in this world. Phinit, of course, shares all of the above gifts and qualities that I was speaking of with Pat. His fine, wonderful sense of humour, he's funny, he's intelligent, he's compassionate, he's creative, he loves music, and he's loyal. And a bit as Mr. Bennett said to Lizzie, I don't think any of us could have quite been able to part with Pat to someone less worthy. And we are so happy that we found each other. Now, it's our 40th wedding anniversary next year, but so Chris and I have been together for a long time and remember back to our wedding day. And on our wedding day, Chris said to my father that he was so happy. He was a little bit afraid of when the bubble would burst. And there are very many words with which I don't agree with my father on. But this is one that I have just so wholeheartedly agree, and it has been borne out. Dad said to Chris, well, I always say if something is going well, there's no reason why it won't just get better and better. And so that's my wish for you boys, that this has started at such a high, and I'm sure and know that it's going to just get better and better. And just to quote a little bit of Shakespeare, sound the drums and trumpets, for here begin our lasting joy.
Thank you, Anne. Congratulations on 40 years. Next year. Maggie, please.
Okay, I hope you've all got your glasses full.
There you go, Nick.
Oh, good. I mean, I don't mean it's going to be a really, really long speech and you're going to have lots of alcohol, because it's going to be a very, very short speech. But we will have a cheers at the end. Okay, I met Patrick when I started working at St Mary's Cathedral College back in 2004. I was a mere teacher back then, whereas Pat had reached the dizzy heights of assistant curriculum coordinator. My first impression of him was that he was a reserved individual, aloof, one might say, remote, standoffish, up himself. I soon came to know him, though, on a professional level, as a considered individual, somebody who weighs up a situation from various angles, who deliberates before deciding on the best course of action. I came to know him too as a committed individual, committed to workers' rights and the rights of the individual, which manifests in his long association with the union movement, and committed also to the importance of music, particularly in the lives of young people, which he demonstrates through his involvement with the band festival. When I became head of department, Patrick became something of a mentor, particularly when it came to managing difficult people. He also encouraged me to become part of the team that represented the IEU at our school. In fact, he urged me to stand for office. He impelled me. He implored me. And I'm sure that the fact that I had a car and could drive us to the monthly meetings out in Berwick had nothing to do with his exhortations. As I got to know him on a personal level, I realised that he was just as dedicated to the imbibing of alcohol
most particularly in public houses, which was another cause which I too gave myself to wholeheartedly. In fact, many a night we would fuse our mutual concern for the working man and woman with our admiration of the amber ale, and celebrate by belting out our distinctive rendition of Flame Trees. You might hear that later on. I came to realise that once he lets you into his world, Patrick becomes a committed friend. And it is those qualities that I've proposed here that Patrick brings to his relationship with Phinit. His dedication and commitment to Phinit has resulted in this ceremony that we're all fortunate enough to be a part of. You can be certain of two things, Phinit. One is that Patrick's commitment to this marriage is considered and determined. And the other is that the vows that he has made to you are genuine and true. Here's to you both. May you both live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Sláinte.
Brother Matt.
Hello, I'm Pat's youngest brother, Matt. Those were lovely words that everyone said. Couldn't disagree with them more. Pat has worked so long to cultivate an aura of aloofness and irreverence and apathy when it comes to official ceremonies. Well, just look at him today. I don't think I've ever seen him as happy. I didn't think I'd ever see him as happy as when we were $10,000 short on our deposit for our house at Coogee, and he had everything on Sunline to win the third Cox Plate. Monday morning we got the deposit. Yes, this day just might top it for him. I was trying to convince a couple of days ago our elder brother Michael Mick to say a few words, but and he said, in typical Mick style, I haven't done that for years and I'm not about to start now. But in typical Mick style, he said, but you should say something and this is what you should say. He said, remind Pat, we all know how intelligent and wise Pat is and how he has an equanimity that we're all envious of. But just remind him of the time when he was in Year 12 playing rugby league and he came second to Greg Alexander in the Australian Schoolboys Commonwealth Bank Cup Best and Fairest. Mick wanted me to emphasise the second very strongly for Pat. So Phinit, this is the kind of brotherly love you can expect. Welcome from us as we officially welcome you to the family, and we do welcome you. And sisterly love. And we do welcome Phinit to the family with wholeheartedly and with open arms, and I wish you all the happiness in the world, the both of you.
Getting dangerous now. Brother Paul.
Actually, that came as a bit of a surprise to me that Matt was going to say a few words today, because he rang me last week and he said, look, one of us has got to say something. And I said, well, I'll ring Mick. And so I rang Mick and said, Mick, you're the oldest, you need to say something. And I said, you've known him longer. and Mick said, yeah, but I've forgotten a few of those years. So you trumped me on that score. And Matt said, no, I can't say anything. You say something, Paul. And so what Matt did say, he said, though, but I'm writing a song for them. He said, Matt fancies himself as a bit of a singer-songwriter. And if you look at the program today, for whatever God knows reason, Matt's listed under the band. And he said, look, I've only got the first few words. He said, maybe if you read them out, I might be able to get some help to finish the song. He said, it's pretty original. It's called Galway Boy. He played the trumpet in a Bondi band and fell in love with a Irish man. Slapped him on the arse, said, "G'day, I'm Pat." Phinit looked him up and down and said, "I'll have me some of that." No. I just want to dance with my Galway boy. So, if anybody can help Matt out with that, I'm sure Cameron Bruce is around here somewhere. Cameron can probably help Matt out with that. But when you look at these two, and obviously, I think with a lot of relationships, well, I get told that opposites attract, and I've certainly found that throughout my years of marriage. And you look at Phinit, and he's a gentle and compassionate soul. Then there's Pat. You look at Phinit, and he's patient, and he speaks with a temperate language. Then there's Pat. You look at Phinit, and he's very creative, and he's hip, and he's up with all the latest celebrities and singers. And it's Pat.
It's a theme developing.
And you look at Phinit, and he's a good style of a bloke. And then there's Pat.
Same style today, though.
Same style,
But it's a wonderful thing that they found each other, and I know my wife Carolyn said to me when they got together that she's never seen Pat so happy in his life, and that's all down to you, Phinit. And thank God, because we've been waiting for a long time for Pat to get happy. I thought about this quite a bit over the years, and knowing Pat for as long as I have, and I make an analogy to a house like this, where I've been in all the rooms in Pat's life, and there's been some hell of good times in a lot of those rooms. But the one room that I hadn't really been into, and that was the room with Pat's sexuality. And I don't know whether it's probably largely because he didn't feel comfortable letting us in, or we didn't act in the way that made him, more so we didn't act in the way that made him feel comfortable to let us in. I just can't say how happy I am that door's been broken down, because it's full of love, it's full of life, and it's full of light. You ain't heavy, you're my brothers.
Be careful, are you crying?
I'm a mess.
Is there anyone else that wants to say a few words? Move it on. Okay. Pat, Dev, Dartos, the Menace. To this day, I remain proud to tell people that you are my best man. You're indeed a loyal friend. You're a man of principle, a fundamentally decent human being. You're exceedingly generous, interested and interesting, and you're terrific company. You, Pat, have met your match. You found in Phinit a partner who is similarly loyal, honest and true. You have done well, my friend, and I wish you well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can just fill your glasses, please. Place the grooms yet again. Patrick and Phinit, we thank you for bringing us here today to celebrate this special day. We wish you every happiness and a long marriage filled with love and laughter. To Pat and Phinit.
Okay. guess if there was a joke, it'd start with Pat walked into a bar. But just to echo previous sentiments, mate, we're glad you came out, and we're glad you found happiness. Everybody, party on. Thank you. Thank you.
To our family and friends, thank you for being here today. It's meaning the world to us. And I would also like to express my sincere gratitude on behalf of myself and Pat, especially to Louise Guchao, who is our wonderful host on this special day. Paul Guchao and his family for organizing the music and lighting and the decoration. And Chris Donaldson for the wonderful food and wedding photos. Dave Townsend and Grit for being our best man. And all of you past friends and family, especially his parents Margaret and John Devery, and all the past siblings who have raised and shaped him the way he is today. I would like to thank you all for welcoming me to be a part of your wonderful family. And finally, thanks to my amazing husband who have all been through thick and thin together since day one.
Close it off, a couple of more thanks. So yeah, once again to Louise. What a great venue. What a great. When I asked her, she just said yes. Monty would have loved this. And for those of you who know Monty, Paul and Louise's mum and Cliff, who used to live here, it would have been great to have had them. So yeah, thanks for this, Louise. When she said, "Who are you going to hire to do the catering?" and I didn't stop for a minute. I said, "Oh, my cousin Anne, she'll sort that." She said, "For 100 people." I went, "Yeah, that's what we do." And you should have seen it here this morning with all the family. It's just amazing to have family that can just do that and put something like this on. And even just listening to the quality of people speaking, the intelligence and the integrity that exists in my broader family, and I'm hoping to get some of that at some point. To our amazing musicians. That's all, I've always sort of put music at the front of any celebration. I can't stand these people who spend all their time thinking about cars. Well, not that the flowers are beautiful, but what do people remember? They remember the music. And I've been fortunate enough to play at some of your weddings, but now you've heard how it actually should sound with Australia's greatest trumpeter, Paul Goodchild. So thank you, Paul. People have come. We've got Lena and Grit from Thailand. Thanks for making the trip. We've got Auntie Mari and the boys and girls coming down from Brisbane. So thanks for making that effort. Toby and Adam coming up from Tasmania. So and people from regional. And Mick coming all the way from. South Australia, in fact, the Brigadier. Yeah. Thanks for that. So, and our regional friends. So thanks a lot. Look, I'd also like to echo. I mean, I spoke with Mick Elphick about 3 or 4 months ago, and I just said, look, we're clearly not going to be going into a house of God to have this ceremony, but there needs to be some recognition. And I said, I don't know what I want, but you do. You will know. And I just gave him a couple of months to ruminate on that, and we'd sort of talk about it over a beer or two, and I cannot express how profound what Mick said today. I think that was a fantastic understanding of our culture, of our nation. So thank you very much, Mike. What else? And I would also like to acknowledge, and there's a number of my nephews and nieces and younger cousins out there that I've attended your weddings over the last many years, and to a person, each one of them has made a specific point of saying, where's Steve, what was those dreadful words?
Between a man and a woman to the exclusion.
To the exclusion of all others. I love that, Barnaby. But for the rest of their life, yes, Barnaby. But anyway, yeah, but to a point, that those younger people out there who've said, but they look forward to the day when marriage will become inclusive. So I thank all of those younger people out there who've been part of that journey. And indeed, I think the first official engagement that Phinit and I went to was actually at Tim and Stacey's wedding, so it's fantastic to be part of that. Yeah, look, I think that some of you have good-humouredly been, Hawkins there giving me the hook, have been ribbing me about my commitment to this day, and I suppose that I would trust that you would understand that, having grown up in Collyambly, which God knows how far away that is these days, Simon, what, about 7 hours drive? That it had, and attending boarding school and all that sort of thing, it had its attendant issues. And I would say that I and a number of us have spent the majority of our lives convincing ourselves that this day would never happen and we shouldn't expect it. So it's a fairly major turnaround for us personally, and I think for our country. I'm bloody glad it's happening. So it's a lot. And I look out here and I see, each of you in your own way have played a part in that journey, whether you knew it or not, simply just by being open and accepting and confident, giving me the confidence to accept myself and that Australia, and our family in Australia is a safe place to be. I think we've still got work to do. I don't think we've by any means come to the end of that journey, but I hope that today contributes a part of that. Dave did steal my line about the strong feelings. I was always committed to this, and he was always I'm the committed one. Unbelievable. But I think the fact that, and Don and Anne are out there somewhere, I think they were pretty shocked. I took the second weekend of the school band festival off to go back and meet that was a big deal. So I was committed. But one thing that, we sort of, he was heading off to work one morning when we were in Bangkok, and he said, I'll play your song on the radio. I went, oh yeah, what do you got? He said, what do you want? I don't know, a bit of Bob Dylan or something like that. And he just mocked at me, it's Bob Dylan. And I said, well, okay, you play me something. So he then plays an Adele song, which we're now going to hear from the beautiful Jackie, and I'm not going to dance to this because we're not taking on all those hetero customs. We're forging a new path. I want you to listen to this, and I had to ring him up and I said, that is Bob Dylan. Yeah, it's not Adele.
You either sing or you dance.
You're dancing,
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. Evening shadows and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears. I will hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, and I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. Storms are raging on the rolling sea, and on the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. No, no. Could make you happy, make your dreams come true. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of earth for you, to make you feel my love. Oh, to make you feel my love. Ooh, to make you feel my love.
Great. So that's Bob Dylan, right? Okay, so my dear old granny used to say to me, "Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are." My take on that is often that people actually select the friends who then form them into the character who consciously or unconsciously they want to be. And so I'm pretty glad I chose you lot. So thank you. And now I've found the guy who will allow me not only to be me, but to be all that I can be. So, now for the shenanigans. The band's going to play a little bit and then we're going to have a big band, so get yourselves some drinks and let's party. Oh, sorry, one more thing, Anne's going to just speak to you very briefly about the food. That's the most important.
I'm not sure it is. I love speeches. I think the speeches and the music are great. Just wanted to say, when Pat said, would I mind doing this? Of course I said yes, anything at all. How many people? He said, oh, maybe 80 or so. I said, okay. 80, 90. I said, I'll cater for 100. And the next time I met him, he said, oh, there could be 110. I said, okay, I'll think about 120. And to be honest, I hope there's enough food for you all, but that's fine. What I wanted to say though, what I loved is Pat said something like a CWA thing, you know, sandwiches and cakes basically. So we've had some sandwiches and we've got loads of bread rolls, and the idea is that you come in this store and there's bread rolls and ham and pulled pork and chipolatas and falafel and various bits and pieces to go with it. So make yourself a hamburger, like a bread roll type thing. If you want just things on a plate, go for it. We will be topping up those containers there. Just leave, if you don't mind, just the sweets and the cheese table, because we'll have a little cake cutting thing at some point in time. And welcome and enjoy. Thank you. Oh, thanks for everyone who cooked. I sure did not do all the cooking. Thanks to all the contributors with the wherewithal to buy things and the cooks. So, bravo.
See that? I want to do first.
Well, alright. Okay. You win. I'm in love with you. Alright. Okay. You win. Tell me what can I do? I'll do anything you say. Well, it's just gotta be that way. Well, alright.
What's next?
What about I like the numbers going.
Sweet Georgia. Sweet Georgia.
Oh, yeah,
I just got your feet down.
This is not a concert, people. You've got to get up and dance. This is, after all, a gay wedding. I'm still shocked and stunned that Pat sat on the couch while I sang the Brian.
That
This is called Sweet Georgia Brown. Brown.
One, two, three.
No galley has got a shade on. Sweet Georgia Brown. To their feet, but also need hat. Sweet Georgia Brown. They all sigh, wanna die for Sweet Georgia Brown. Tell you why. No, I don't lie. If he said she knocks them dead when she lands in town. Said she can't lie, it's a shame how she cooled me down. Feeling that she Georgia favorite, Georgia Clinton, Sweet Georgia. secret section. All right, now people, it's your turn. So when I sing the line, I don't care too much for money. Hey, that's pretty good. I think you invited the right people. Yeah, they're all playing along. All right. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Here we go. Buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. Give you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I don't care too much for money. Can't buy me love. I don't really think that enough alcohol has been consumed, and I'm quite concerned about the ramifications of this on the neighbourhood, and so they were all forewarned that there was going to be much rowdiness and much shenanigans tonight, so let's give it one more try, please. Alright, here we go. I give you all I got to give. If you say, hey babe, I love you too. May not have a lot to give, but what I got, I give to you. Cause I don't care too much for money. Can't buy me love. Everybody tell me so. Can't buy me love. No. Say you won't need no diamond ring, baby, I'll be satisfied. Tell me what you want, the kind of things that money just can't buy. I don't care too much for money. I don't care too much for money. Can't buy me love. Sale signs going up all over the neighbourhood. Pink champagne stole my love from me. Pink champagne stole my love from me. Pink champagne, where can my lover be? I want some champagne, I want champagne, I want mellow, mellow wine. I want champagne, give me some champagne, mellow, mellow wine. Makes me wanna feel so doggone fine. Pink champagne left me feeling blue. Pink champagne left me feeling sad and blue. Pink champagne, now what's a girl like me to do? I want some champagne, I want champagne, I want mellow, mellow wine. I want champagne, give me some champagne, mellow, mellow wine. It makes me wanna feel so doggone fine. Oh, hey, 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 boy.
Think you better slow the stand down.
How about something in my key? Good lordy lordy. Alright, you all have to sing along now. Mustang selling out, baby. Think you better slow your Mustang down. Gonna kill you so hard. You've been running all over town. Guess I'll have to put your flat feet on the ground. All I wanna do is ride around Sally. All I wanna do is ride around Sally. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. One of these early mornings, you're gonna be wiping your weeping eyes. Your brand new Mustang, about 1965. Now you come around, signify woman. You don't wanna let me ride Mustang selling that baby. Guess I'm gonna slow your Mustang down, down. Gonna have to put your flat feet on the ground. What I do is ride Sally, ride. All I wanna do is ride around Sally, ride, ride. All you wanna do is ride Gotta feel something, something, something going
Lordy, Lordy. Drawing those keys, I'm going to die. This is called I Wish. And I've tried to wish that I had more alcohol and some cake, maybe some chocolate and a mountain of cheese. After this song, maybe all that will come true. Alright, here we go. Looking back on when I was a little nappy, then my only worry was Christmas for in my toy. Even though it's all down, would not get a thing. We were happy with I wish that was in a better key, and I wish I knew where we all were. We're going to take a little break from.
You know how to switch it on?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dispense with Ty. I think my Ty gets better after a couple of years. But at the same time, it's late in the evening and I'll just go with straight English. We're now going to get to the part of the evening where we cut the cheesecake. So doubles us both, it's good. And then after that, there's also cakes and sweets available inside. But before I hand over for the cake cutting ceremony, can I please make a special mention to the guys that are serving behind the bar? And also for our coffee maker over on the other side, thank you so much for giving us. Now, Pat and Phinit, over to you.
Cut. Cutting of the cake. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for one cup to cup and drink more shenanigans. Yes. There'll be more music in a moment, and thank you all for coming. Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
We're gonna go through the next one.
One more. And smile. Okay, we're good.
Thank you. Oh, smiling.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. Evening shadows and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears. I will hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, and I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. Storms are raging on the rolling sea, and on the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. No. Could make you happy, make your dreams come true. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of earth for you to make you feel my love. Oh, to make you feel my love. Ooh, to make you feel my love.